Cześć, tutaj JARAM Forester, a to jest The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Więc, jak mówiłem w poprzednim odcinku Unreal Life, planowałem sobie nowy komputer sprawić i mam go, mam typiarza. Także mam nadzieję, że tym razem Isaac i inne gry będą mi działały troszeczkę szybciej i troszeczkę lepiej niż na starym komputerze. Nie mogę się doczekać, aż go już wyjebie za okno. Dobra, nieważne. The Stanley Parable. Przypowieść o Staśku. Jest to jedna z takich pierwszych gier indie, jakie zobaczyłem w swoim życiu. W sensie, no, oglądałem w ten już legendarny, niestety już usunięty, let's play Multiego z The Stanley Parable, co jest moim dzieciństwem. Więc przypowieść o Staśku mam tutaj u siebie w serduchu. Okej, przepraszam za to, musiałem coś sprawdzić, czy na pewno mi się wszystko nagrywa, ponieważ jeszcze nie znam tego komputera, więc nie wiem jak to będzie chodzić, ale jest potężniejszy od tamtego. Jest też dużo mniejszy, ale dobra, rozgaduję się o komputerze, a ja powinienem gadać o grze. Ostatnio zobaczyłem, że The Stanley Parable dostało update, w sensie Ultra Deluxe Edition i takie, co? Ta gra jeszcze żyje? I widziałem, że Staszek nagrał z niej gameplay. Takie obejrzałem jeden odcinek, żeby sobie nie spoilerować i uznałem sobie, muszę w to zagrać. Przecież jak ja nie mogę zagrać w przypowieść o Staśku? Tak więc zacznijmy może. Bo wiem, że w tej grze są nowe zakończenia, jest tona nowego kontentu. Widziałem już miniaturki z jakimś wiadrem, co jest questionable, więc przekonajmy się i zobaczmy ten nowy stuff. Let's go. Nie mogę się doczekać, ponieważ tak dawno nie oglądałem w ogóle The Stanley. Okej, dobra.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
O, pamiętam, że tego nie było w oryginalnej grze z 2013.
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
And Stanley was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okej, po pierwsze, ja tu zaraz czułość myszki, tak troszeczkę zwiększmy. Oj, dobra, może jeszcze ciut. I na 8. Dobra. Fun fact, próbowałem już nagrać z tego poprzedni odcinek. Początkowa scena, początkowe intro, 3 klatki. Tylko 3 klatki z całego intro, bo tak mi lagowało. Ale to przedtem mi chodziło tak okropnie, a teraz patrzcie jak to zajebiście chodzi. O, uwielbiam ten komputer! Okej, dobra, przestanę już. Okej, więc jako pierwszy run miejmy już za sobą, pójdźmy tak jak narrator, tak jak to pan narrator przykazał, żeby już mieć go z głowy i żeby sobie oszczędzić tego pierdolenia, że dlaczego nie podążysz z moją historią? Taką fajnie napisałem, no bo ja sam przeszedłem. Dobra.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Dobrze, wiem jak to się robi. Poza tym, jeśli audio w tym odcinku będzie takie dziwne, jeśli będzie trochę dziwne, to przepraszam, ale mam problemy z głośnikami i generalnie korzystam teraz z mojej karty dźwiękowej. W sensie podłączyłem słuchawki do wejścia, które jest w komputerze, więc nie wiem, jak to wpłynie na audio filmu, ale mam nadzieję, że nie wpłynie. Jezu Chryste, jak ja tu dawno nie byłem. Oh my fucking god. W ogóle... no, widzę, że po kilku latach, no skakać nadal nie możemy. O, i jest ten. Co ja... To okej. Mam wyłączyć te komputeroniki, tak? Nie. Okej. Tu są jakieś komputery do wyłączenia?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
Dobra,
find a
Ray!
trace of his co-workers.
O, pamiętam, że tutaj się wchodziło i tutaj jest kolejne zakończenie. Jedyne co to... Uno momento, por favor. To chyba mogło być... A może nie powinno być. Czekajcie, muszę odpisać na... DM-a. Jezus Maria, to dobrze. Dobrze, że ja wyciszyłem telefon. Kuźwa, ile tu jest zakończeń. Oh my god. A są też nowe zakończenia. Będę musiał sprawdzić, jak je zdobyć. Bez spoilerów oczywiście.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Na lewo mówisz. I to idziemy w prawo. Dobra, nieważne. Dobra, miejmy to już za sobą. Miejmy to już z głowy. Potem będziemy szaleć. Teraz idziemy tak, jak pan narrator
Yet there
przykazał.
was not a single person here either.
O nie,
Feeling
kto
a
by
wave
się
of
spodziewał?
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
O, mogę debugować. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Okay. Financial panic meeting. Legal. Meeting room. Get Chris out of the broom closet! O nie. Okej. Wszyscy jesteśmy wyjątkowi. Ty najbardziej. Number of slides on this... Chyba humor The Stanley Parable to jest coś innego. Mogę wejść? Dzień dobry.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
A, pamiętam, że tutaj jest chyba też kolejne zakończenie, że jak posiedzimy w tej w tej szafce wystarczająco długo, to narrator się wścieknie i będzie nas obrażać, będzie się wkurwiać. No.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Co jak pójdziemy na dół? Zawsze zastanawiam się, co się stanie, jak pójdziemy na dół, ale może kiedy indziej. Może sprawdzimy to potem. Może sprawdzimy to już po tym zakończeniu, ponieważ te zakończenia są dosyć szybkie, więc nie wiem, ile uda mi się zrobić na jeden odcinek. O, dzień dobry. Because the boss know that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss shows. Nie wiem, czemu to zarapowałem. Mogę spuścić wodę? Halo? Ale kuźwa, jasno. Co to była? Bomba atomowa pierdolnęła gdzieś? Jesus Christ. Okej. Okay, widzę, że... Shut the fuck up. Widzę, że tutaj się zbytnio nie zmieniło. O, a tu możemy wejść? Ciekawe, czy tutaj jest jakieś zakończenie za tymi drzwiami, bo tutaj nie możemy wejść. A możemy tu wejść? Możemy coś kliknąć? Cokolwiek? Nie? Okej. Okej. Biuro szefa!
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Okej, 2845. Okej, ale dlaczego nie można grać na pianinie? Ja tu chciałem Vivaldiego zagrać, no kurwy. Dobra, 2, 8, 4, 5.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know, yet incredibly, by simply pushing
coś
random
mówiłeś?
buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okej, ta gra... czekajcie, muszę ją przyjaśnić troszeczkę. General... Kamera, mouse sensitivity... Aha, to kamera sensitivity też to działa. Presentation, accessibility, show color labels, content warnings, subtitles. I można z powrotem na jasności ustawić? Ojowa. No to będziecie mieli ciemną grę. Ja tu nic nie widzę. O Jesus. Może dlatego, że jest cień. O! Duży czerwony guziczek. Shall we? Of course. Klik! No i gdzie jedziemy? Halo, proszę mi a gdzie my jedziemy? Ładowanie. A, już wiem, gdzie jedziemy. Dobra.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okej. Tutaj dostałem kolejny spoiler, w sensie nie obejrzałem jeden odcinek Staszka z The Stanley Parable przez przypadek i wiem, że jest jedno zakończenie, które się odblokowuje, jak po prostu wrócimy na górę. Ale na razie tego nie chcę robić, bo na razie robimy to główne zakończenie.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
O, pamiętam ten korytarz, pamiętam jak mnie tu i tam było muzeum z tymi, z nieużytymi chyba, z nieużytymi zakończeniami, z modelami wszystkimi. O, pamiętam ten pokój. Sorry, że ja będę teraz mówić co chwila, pamiętam to, ale teraz tak mnie nostalgia pizła, że to jest niewiarygodne, naprawdę. Klik!
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Tam nas prowadzi. Pamiętam zakończenie, które było to tam o.
Did he have the strength to find out?
O Jesus. Aha, to było wejście. Myślałem, że tam mogę wejść. Tu są kamery, tu mogę coś kliknąć. Wow. Dobra. Naciskamy!
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place.
Okay, gdzie jestem?
4,
2, 7. Tu jestem. Czy to będzie mój... To jest moje biuro. To jest actually moje biuro. Jej. Wow, ale że tutaj aż 600 pracowników pracuje? Jeez. Sheesh. Okej. To teraz na windę. Klik.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Okej.
No. He refused.
Okej, zawsze się zastanawiałem, czy może jest zakończenie i czy jest w ogóle możliwość wejścia na to widę i wyjścia z niej szybko, zanim drzwi się zatrzasą, żeby ona sobie sama pojechała.
Was it even possible?
Ciekawe, czy...
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Jak widać, tak.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okej. O. Ej, ale to miejsce zawsze mi się podobało. Tutaj. Takie małe. Taki fajny okrąg. O, ja wiem co... Dobra, ja wiem jakie zakończenie chcę zrobić po tym zakończeniu. Uwielbiam to zakończenie. Klik. O, tutaj jest jakiś guziczek. Pamiętam, że tutaj też było zakończenie, w którym właśnie włączamy tą maszynę. Czemu nadal nie możemy biegać? Jesus!
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Przepraszam, musiałem. Okej. Czy teraz... koniec?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Wow.
Was it over?
Nie.
Yes. He had won.
Jej,
He had defeated the
wygrałem!
machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Wow.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
W ogóle jest teoria, która mówi, że to, że narrator cały czas mówi Stanley is happy, to tak naprawdę to zakończenie, to nie jest prawdziwe. To nie jest prawdziwy świat. Że on nadal jest w budynku i nadal jest pod kontrolą. To jest trochę creepy. To idziemy.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling
Wow.
of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
To zakończenie jest fajne w sumie. Takie wholesome. The end is never the end. No, to jedno zakończenie zrobione. No. To teraz czas na zabawę! Czas na olewanie narratora w każdej opcji możliwej! Lecimy!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Lecimy!
Stanley
Dobra,
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
morda. Teraz idziemy do zakończenia, które jest moje ulubione chyba w całym Stanley
Stanley
Parable.
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Jeb się! Teraz się jeb!
This
Zrobiłem.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
Mogę otworzyć?
perfectly well.
Mogę otworzyć
Perhaps he
jakieś
wanted to
drzwi
stop
czy
by the
coś?
employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Jasne. Wmawiaj to sobie.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all.
Yeah.
Just to spend, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah. Tu mi się podoba.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Kocham to. O, tutaj też można w ogóle spać. Co będzie fajne. Dobra, idziemy.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been
Czekajmy.
about nothing
Poczekajmy
but you
trochę,
all this
poczekajmy
time.
trochę, poczekajmy
There's someone
trochę.
you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Tak.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Tak.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you
jasne.
something beautiful.
Uważaj, bo uwierzę.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Uważaj,
Give me
bo
a chance.
uwierzę. 2v1. Wiecie, narrator to jest takie dziwne entity, że czasem ci go żal i czasem go współczujesz. W sensie, czasem odczuwasz do niego współczucie, a czasem masz ochotę mu kurwa urwać łeb. Bo jest taki wnerwiający. Uwielbiam też aktora głosowego, który podkłada mu głos.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Zaraz, które to zakończenie? Aha, no to teraz się musimy posłuchać tego.
Oh, thank
Narratora.
God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these
Yeah.
choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't
Oh.
here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I
Wow.
wanted to stop.
Serio, pętla.
We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think,
Yeah.
well, I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
O, oba się otworzyły. Czy to zależy, w które pójdę, to zależy, co się stanie, czy... Dobra, pójdziemy w prawo. I dziób!
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Okej.
Here.
O,
Oh,
uwielbiam
it's
to.
beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Serio, ta część w grze to jest tak zajebiste, to jest tak proste, a tak zajebiste. No patrzcie na to. Jakie to jest cool, oh my fucking god. Plus ambient też mi się podoba. Patrzcie na to. Wow, zajebiste. Mogę spaść? Nie, nie mogę. Dobra, już mi się znudziło. Wracanko.
No, wait. Where are you going?
W pizdu.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Jakie ładne schody. Ciekawe, co się stanie, jak na nie wejdę. Ciekawe, co tam jest na górze. Poczekaj, pójdę sprawdzić, ziom. Poczekaj na mnie.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Stary, ja tu jestem człowiek gołąb. Co? What? Co ja pierdolę? Stary, nic mi nie będzie. Pozdrawiam rodzinkę!
Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Ja chcę jeszcze raz! O, tak.
No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Bo mogę.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
O, i chodzę coraz wolniej.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Nie, po prostu chcę zrobić inne zakończenia, bo to mnie już nudzi. Halo, halo. Halo, co? Dobra. Whee!
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
No i właśnie o tym mówię. Czasami masz ochotę, czasami czujesz się źle robiąc mu na złość, a czasami robienie mu na złość to jest najlepsza rzecz pod słońcem. Jesus Christ. No to jest... Geronimo!
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Sorry, koleś! Nudziło mnie już. Dobrze, co
All
teraz?
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Co teraz? O! Nowy content? Trochę temu nie ufam, bo to jest w końcu przepowieść o Staśku, więc to wszystko jest możliwe, ale dobra.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
No, halo, mogę przejść? Nie mogę przejść, okej. Nowy content, I see. Dzień dobry. Ale zaraz, ja nie chciałem, Ojej. Ups. Co to jest? Halo.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As
What?
you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Tyle to ja wiem, stary.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Okej.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
To będzie
Well,
troll,
this
jak
sounds
nic.
delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
To będzie troll. Jak chuj. Albo puszczą Never Gonna Give You, albo mnie zrekrolują, albo puszczą Minecrafta. Bo wsadzą mnie w Minecrafta. To let's see.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Ta, nie licz na zbytnio. Nie licz na więcej.
Is it broken? What's going on here?
Aha.
Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Niech zgadnę. albo się zatrzyma, albo nie będzie z nowego kontentu, nic, albo będzie tak jeździć.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Aha. Okay. Well played. Well played. Skąd, kurwa?
Alright.
Kurwa, wiedziałem.
Right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Nareszcie! Jezu Chryste, mogę skakać w końcu. Po ilu latach ja w końcu mogę skakać? Czekajcie, obliczę to sobie. 2022 minus 2013. Po 9 kurwa latach! Tej grze za rok wystrzeli 10 lat. Kurwa, staro się poczułem. Dobrze, no to skaczemy sobie. Intense gameplay. Fascynujący gameplay. Cudownie. 10 na 10, IGN, best game ever. Jej. No i co? Mogę sobie usiąść? Czy nie? Aha, mam iść dalej. Okej. No to co jeszcze w tym nowym kontencie jest?
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Mówiłem, stary, nie licz na nic więcej.
Another elevator.
Nie licz na
Stanley,
nic więcej.
I
To
have
są
say,
goście od
initial
Stanley
impressions of
Parable.
this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Tak.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Mr.
now
Beast
with over
reference.
1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes.
Niech zgadę, teraz
I
będzie
knew
siedzenie.
that was something else.
Siedzenie
Let's
simulator.
see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Skąd wiedziałem? Jej!
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
Narrator to Julka z Twittera, confirmed.
I want to try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Chciałem już powiedzieć tak, ale okej. The end is never the... Wait, what? Co tu się... Co tu się dzieje? Halo? Halo? Ja nie znam tego środowiska, proszę pana.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okej, tylko najpierw zobaczę, co tutaj jest. O, okej. No to co? Lecimy! No, lecimy. Co tutaj robi kubek w wencie? Ui! Okej, no to... Okej. Co tu się...
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content
A co to
turned
tak
out
czerwono?
to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Okej. Ale ja nie wiem, że... What?! Ej, co to za jakiś Skyrim? Halo? Jakiś Skyrim,
I
Jesus.
call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
O. Ej, to jest kinda wholesome, actually.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
2013! O, goddammit. On, właśnie, Stanley Parable chyba wygrał jakieś nagrody. O, Jesus. Nie zapominaj. Original. O. Kurocio. O. $1. Muzyka nawet. O, Jesus. Stanley Parable. Okej, dobra, teraz nostalgia to mnie pizła okropnie. O, to zakończenie! O, to jest to zakończenie, które mamy, jak zejdziemy w dół na tych schodach. To jest właśnie ending screen tego zakończenia. Mamy coś jeszcze tutaj do zwiedzenia? Możemy tutaj wejść na tą ławkę, sobie usiąść, nie? Okej. Mały Stanley!
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless
Co
husk
to jest?
with an hour of new elevator content.
Wow. O, a co to jest? Mogę tu wejść? Nie? No okej. O, jeez. Niebieskie i czerwone drzwi. O, kuźwa. Czy to jest stanowisko narratora? On, ten guzik zesrany. Wow.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in
Wow,
games,
ale
and
zastanawiam
one
się,
that
czy to
offers some
są
of the most
faktyczne,
enjoyable, surprising and rewarding choices
prawdziwe
I've
recenzje,
ever been
które wzięto z
confronted with in a
internetu?
game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Okej, Duda. Poważny pokój.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Aha. A zakładam, że te drzwi prowadzą właśnie tam.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
O kurwa. No to się wdopiłem. O. Dywinki.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Aha, jasne. Pewnie. O!
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! Trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work.
Funny!
I suppose I could write up a handful
Uwielbiam
of
ten
gags to
głos.
insert into the Stanley parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Ta gra to mem. Ta gra to jeden wielki metamem. Co tu się dzieje? O kuźwa! Mogę zejść? Okej, mogę zejść. Ale gdzie my zmierzamy? Jesus Christ. Okej. O, tu jest więcej. Tu jest więcej.
Let's see what this one says. Well, the idea for
2016.
the game is good. For someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. It's
Zależy.
actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it, well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Tak, po pierwsze, nie zadowolisz wszystkich. To jest cena lekcja życiowa, nie zadowolisz wszystkich. A po drugie, to trochę zaczyna wyglądać jak horror. A ja się boję. Ja się boję, że zaraz mi coś wyskoczy na mordę. Zaraz dostanę brzydki jumpscare. O, kolejna.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
Ale
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto.
sorry, nie chcę ci przekazać.
Anything for the customer.
Nie chcę cię
Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for.
To był
and I'm
tylko
very
jeden
proud
gość.
to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness,
Ja
that's
wiem,
what
co tu
they're
się
going
dzieje.
to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you,
and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably...
Ja poczekam, mam
until the
czas.
end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, no, until 245.
Nieważne jak długo, nieważne jak długo będziesz gadać, ja tutaj zostanę. Ja cię nie będę pomijał.
10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably,
Naprawdę.
until the end of time,
Naprawdę.
everything all at once.
Okej. Myślałem, że da się
You
tutaj.
were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice.
Okej, mogę już wyjść?
Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to
A czy
describe
jesteś za tą
it, I'd
ścianą?
say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe
Nie
a
ma?
manifesto.
Nie ma?
I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, treatise, manifesto.
Dobra, story!
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works.
Same.
Perhaps that would have been the
Same.
smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes,
Pewnie.
I think that's quite likely.
Sure.
Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over.
Oh,
How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Okay,
Story.
welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
What?
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall?
Słuchaj, Hulkiem nie
Is there
jestem.
any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different
Okej,
room,
dobra,
but I
I
will
see,
find a
I
way,
see,
I
dobra,
promise.
Stulgej.
You just
Stolry.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley,
Co mam
the ball
robić?
is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked.
Dobra.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
What?
Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
What the fuck?
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right?
Okay.
Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all.
Okej,
It isn't
słuchaj,
even
gościu,
close.
gościu.
Because I know you can't
Ty
hear me
mnie
once you
zaczynasz
push that
nudzić,
button.
ja się robię
That's
śpiący.
what I'm realizing now,
Oh.
Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening.
Papa.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
Dzień
I
dobry.
have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have
What?
you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley.
Morda.
Days, months.
Morda.
I lost it all in a blur of the
Jesus,
deepest longing
zamknij
to undo the
mordę. Stary? Stary? Ej, weź, dobra, żartowałem. Ej, ja żartowałem. Stary? Halo? O Jesus. Wait, czy przeskipowało do tego momentu, w którym on nawet nie żyje? Ojej. Oj, ej, nie chciałem. Ja już tak trochę, trochę mnie już denerwował, ponieważ to gadanie męczyło mnie. Ponieważ robię się śpiący. I chciałem pominąć. O kuźwa. Zabiłem typa! Zabiłem typiarza! O, ja nie chciałem! Ja chciałem lekko! Fuck! Fucking fuck! Może jak nacisnę jeszcze raz, to powróci? Co jest? Co jest? Okej, widzę, że zegar to już dawno trafił w szlak.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
A ty
But
co ty...
where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words of...
Okej, ja cię zostawię ze sobą. Słyszałem? Wodę. Czemu mam wrażenie, że tutaj za tym coś będzie? Słyszę wodę. Skip.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the
Nie!
end, is never the end, is never the end,
Fuck off!
never the end, is never the end, is never the
Nie chcę,
end, is
nie,
never
nie.
the end, is never the
Nie chcę się z
end,
tym
is
użagać.
never the end, is never
Ja chcę
the
mieć
end,
poczucia
is
winy.
never the end, is never the end, is never
A może
the
jednak
end, is
chcę.
never the end, is never the end, is never the end,
O,
is never
god
the
damn it.
end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never
O,
the end, is never the
gościu,
end,
wybacz.
is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is...
Czemu ja ciągle słyszę wodę? Oh Jesus. Okej, to było actually creepy. To było actually creepy. A Bogu, a rury rdzewieją! I dlatego! Okej, to ma sens. O! Pierdolnęło. Nareszcie coś pierdolnęło. Skip. Czy mogę na to wejść? Nie mogę na to wejść. To skipujemy dalej. Ale że co? Okej. Co tu się dzieje? Ja pierdolę. Ej, to już było tak długo, że to zdążyło zarosnąć? No wejdź na to. A mogę wejść na to? Apparently nie mogę. Okej. Skip! Weźcie mnie stąd! Weźcie mnie stąd! Weźcie mnie stąd. Co? Co się stało? Ja chyba pominąłem kilka rozdziałów. Stary! Gdzie jesteś? Ja może zostanę tam. Tam się czuję bezpiecznie. Tam się czuję bezpiecznie. I to wszystko dlatego, że poszedłem do drzwi z napisem nowy content. Mogę tu wcisnąć jeszcze raz? Czy już... Tak przeskipnąłem, że... Okej. Okej. Koniec. To koniec tego odcinka. O ja pie... Wow. Dobra. Myślę, że to by było na tyle w tym odcinku. Obczaliliśmy to zakończenie, to główne zakończenie, wiecie, główne. To zakończenie, za które podążymy za narratorem, moje ulubione zakończenie ze starej gry oraz zdobyliśmy prawdopodobnie nowy content, w sensie prawdopodobnie. Zobaczyliśmy nowy content i nowe zakończenia. Ja pierdolę. To zakończenie trwało z jakieś pół godziny? Albo 40 minut? Jesus Christ. Omijać tamte drzwi. A w sumie...
All of his co-workers were gone.
Tam były jeszcze jedne drzwi
Stanley
chyba.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Tam były jeszcze chyba jedne drzwi. Nowy content.
Oh,
Tutaj.
good.
You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Nie! Nie! Wypad, nie. Okej, dobra. To by było na tyle w tym odcinku. W następnym odcinku pojedziemy sobie z powrotem. Dziękuję wam wielkie za obejrzenie. Trzymajcie się i do zobaczenia w kolejnym odcinku z The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. A ja idę nagrywać inne rzeczy, ponieważ jestem teraz on fire i będę nagrywać cały dzień. Bye bye!